Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, Chris Irons, also known as Quoth the Raven, talks about how Bitcoin can be a powerful alternative to the current financial system. He explains why it might be a good option for people unhappy with today's money policies and economic problems.
And so what is Bitcoin? This is what I wrote about this morning. And the article's free. So if you could put a link to my
we'll do it, man.
My blog on there somewhere, like somebody can click through to it. Yeah, I don't want to self-promote, but just so you can read my comprehensive thoughts, because it's early and I'm not doing a good job putting them into words. But what I wrote this morning is like Bitcoin is an apropos exit ramp if you are that pissed off motherfucker, if you are that middle class brick laying nickel and dime shitheel, right? And you're from that same middle class that I'm from, and you hustled for a living. My dad was a mailman. He worked 6 days a week delivering on foot to 250 houses a day. And he worked overtime, right? If you're out there putting in the work and the only thing you want to do is preserve your wealth, you have a legit beef with monetary policy. You have a legit beef with running $2 trillion deficits. So if you want to opt out of that system and you want to get pissed off the next time there is an Occupy Wall Street, the exit ramp could very well be Bitcoin for a number of reasons. I mean, sure, gold is always my first and foremost. Gold is always my main chick, all right? Bitcoin's kind of like my side piece right now. But it's a hell of a lot better than going out and running up GameStop, because there's no counterparty, right? So you don't have to worry about somebody else not being there to take the trade. Nobody can shut trading off for you. Nobody can take your Bitcoin. There's no dilutive danger, because nobody's going to go out and issue more of it. And it is, in essence, a way to opt out of the entire system. Your beef is with the fiat system. You're getting fucked because of the fiat system. Your quality of life is diminishing because of the fiat system. It feels horrible when you work a 40-hour week and you can't afford a Domino's pizza because of the fiat system. So you can exit the fiat system a number of ways. Gold is my first preference, but Bitcoin could also work as well. And Bitcoin could be the answer. And by the way, when FOMO catches on in Bitcoin, like I think it'll probably do into the second half of this year, we'll talk about that if you want. There's no more supply to meet the FOMO. It's just a bigger bid. And what happens when the bid gets bigger? What happens when 5 million pissed off Occupy Wall Street, GameStop, Wall Street bet, what do they call themselves? Retards? Apes? What happens when 5 million of those degenerate motherfuckers, term of affection, combine with like the 5 million disgusting, dirty hippies that were living in tents during Occupy Wall Street, combined with the 2 million people that are still walking around with Ron Paul signs like I am? What happens when all those people join together and join the Bitcoin network? Well, you could say, this is great, there's just a lot of people buying it. Well, that's one way to look at it. But also, when you understand the network and you understand it is literally the code equivalent, it is the technological braille of the saying, there's safety in numbers and power to the people, that when that adoption happens that quickly, you're not just exiting all in unison. It's not everybody running out of the theater at the same time. You're simultaneously strengthening the network, which is really a thing of elegance and a thing of beauty. And one of the cool little, things that it takes a while to understand about Bitcoin. So there is a real ideological case to get excited about with Bitcoin. Am I saying it's going to be the standard in 20 years, 50 years? No, I'm not. Am I saying it's definitely going to go up? No, I'm not. Am I saying that there is definitely there's an elegance to the network and there is an appeal to the ideology that I think makes it worth having exposure to? If not for anything, I think it's a worthy cause. I'm sitting here at 6 a.m. and I'm getting fired up just talking about it. Like, I think it's a worthwhile cause. And so, like, if you're going to bet on something, why not just bet on kind of returning some of that power to the people? I've been sitting here crowing about how the system is broken for so long. And I like gold, but there's things about gold, there's things about Bitcoin that gold can't do. Full stop. There's things about gold that Bitcoin can't do. Full stop. So let me put a bow on it here, and then I'll let you ask your second question in an hour. The point is, the next time we have a crisis, okay, and you get all these riled up, angry people that are angry for a reason, they have their answer. The only question is whether or not they're going to see it, and it's on them. The Bitcoin network is going to work if people want it to work. End of story. It's not up to fucking Hillary Clinton. It's not up to Elizabeth Warren. It's not up to the fucking premier of Australia. It's not up to the fucking president of Japan. It's not up to the Ministry of Finance in India. It's not up to some guy in Finland. It's not up to any of these people. It's gonna survive if people want it to. And that's the beauty of the redundancy of the network. Why did Wikipedia become a success? I mean, there's a central controlling entity, I think, now in Wikipedia, the Wikipedia Foundation or whatever. But why did Wikipedia go from being a blank Word document to the compendium of all human knowledge that anybody has ever been able to muster up in like 20 years? Because it was open source and they allowed everybody access to it, right? Why did Napster become a success? Because it was peer-to-peer. Didn't matter what anybody thought. I'm just trading songs with my friends. That's it, right? Those two things are extremely powerful. And so to be able to put together a system where you solve the double spend problem and you harness the power of true decentralization and the idea that everybody can have an equal shot at access to the network, and where the security of the network is predicated on the amount of people that use it. The only thing the human race now needs is just to push. Just to push to keep falling down that fucking hole. And by the way, you got Franklin Templeton out there doing your bidding for you now, right? You got, all these fucking crusty old fucks in suits who I guarantee you 5 years ago were sitting at dinner parties saying, well, we're going to get involved in a speculative asset, some kids having some fun with some computer code. We don't do that at Franklin Templeton. We wear suits and we shave every day and we have sex missionary style only. That's it here at Franklin Templeton. That's part of our motto. That's part of our code of integrity. And then all of a sudden, Wall Street comes along and says, hey, you can make a fee on this ETF. And all of a sudden, Franklin Templeton's like, well, you got to have some diversification and some speculative assets and ways to opt your way out of the system. So, the ETFs are essentially a tacit blessing from regulators. There's no turning back. It's not like the next administration is going to come in and say, wait a second, we fucked up. We got to take the ETFs off the exchanges. It's just never going to happen. So now the question is, okay, you've opened up the RIA funnel, which will be a couple trillions of dollars into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's market cap is still only $1 trillion or $900 billion. So you open up that funnel, right? You got this conference that just happened in Dubai last week where you see like all these ultra rich people. And I don't mean like, hey, I live in a nice mansion in New Jersey and I drive a Mercedes Benz. Like I have 4 Bugattis and a pet tiger. That is wealth on a different level. That is Saudi Aramco wealth. That is I live on top of an oil well wealth, right? These people are just looking for something to do with their money. They have more money than they know what to do with. They're gold plating water slides at water parks and building entire cities in the middle of the desert. If you think some of these guys are not going to allocate 20 billion, 25 billion to their sovereign balance sheets in the Middle East, even if it goes to zero, they don't give a fuck. They want to be trendy. They want to be on the next wave, whatever it is. They don't even have to understand it. So it's almost better that they don't understand it. They just say, all right, well, it's this flashy thing. We want to get some of it. Maybe we'll hold $1 trillion in gold to $10 billion in Bitcoin. But I think when that kind of stuff happens, the game theory just takes over and it's Katie bar the door. And that's that.
This was a fascinating conversation with Chris Irons, filled with insights and valuable lessons about Bitcoin and its potential impact. The three main lessons from this conversation are: 1. Bitcoin as an exit strategy. Bitcoin offers a way out for people dissatisfied with traditional money policies and the decreasing value of their savings. 2. Decentralization and security. Bitcoin's decentralized nature means no single authority can control it, making it a secure and reliable asset. 3. Potential for growth. As more people and big investors see Bitcoin's potential, its value and use are likely to grow a lot. So, what do you think about this Bitcoin conversation? Do you agree with Chris and his arguments? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoy this type of content and want to see more, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, keep learning and keep stacking.